Let me ask each of you a question. What is it about USC that makes it stand out above all other universities? I've been to nearly every college campus in South Dakota, and none of them have been like USC. Is it the architecture? Is it us, the students? Is it the faculty like Dr. Semler? Or is it the gaudy red benches and garbage cans that litter campus? Well, yes, of course, each of these things make it stand out, but above all else is the fact that USD is the only public liberal arts institution in South Dakota. And look at the success that our graduates have had. Liberal arts education brings success because liberal arts education brings perception, liberal arts education brings preparation, liberal arts education brings progress. My first point, liberal arts education brings perception. Perception is important for each of us in order to find our own personal success. Being able to understand the world around us, the people that we work with, and the culture that we live in, is just as important as knowing the duties and responsibilities of a career. William Cronin, a professor from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, outlined the major qualities of a liberally educated student from his own point of view and from the point of view of his colleagues. Now, the biggest thing that they found was the fact that liberally educated students could read effectively, could determine the magnitude of an event or lack thereof, but most importantly, be able to communicate these ideas to others. Another researcher, Tricia Seifert, a professor from the University of Iowa, found that liberally educated students scored very high in intercultural effectiveness and inclination to lifelong learning. Now, the point here is that liberally educated students can perceive what they know around them, but they can navigate ambiguity as well to understand things that they do not know. Of course, understanding the world isn't just the only thing that you learn with liberal arts education. Liberal arts education brings preparation. There's a constant argument as to whether or not career prep versus liberal arts is the right way to go for college. There's a difference though. Cronin quotes a particular liberal arts institution saying that giving their objectives for higher learning. There's four things: competency in communication, competency in the major modes of thought, an ability to understand the basic culture, but fourth, a thorough understanding of a particular subject area. And that's not all. Dr. Michael Walsh from Southern Illinois University Carbondale performed a study of recent liberal arts graduates. After 2 years, over 75% of them found satisfactory employment. But here's the kicker, only 20% of them were actually in the field that they studied for. Now, there's a difference here. Not only do you get an education in a particular discipline, but because you have multiple disciplinary studies, you are able to make multiple career changes. Of course, attaining perception and attaining preparation requires effort. Effort is a conscious ability for a person to improve themselves or the people around them. Something characteristic of, say, a leader who brings progress. Liberal arts education brings progress as well. What is career preparation without being able to make decisions? A person like, say, the President of the United States cannot perform their job without being able to make decisions. Cronin is directly quoted as saying, "These are the skills of an analyst, manager, engineer, and a critic. The ability to look at a complicated reality, break it into pieces, and look at how it works in order to make practical decisions." Of course, he says you also have to be able to put it back together in order to be truly practical, but I think his point is clear. Seifert also, in her study, found that students scored high in commitment, collaboration, common purpose, but they also scored low in self-consciousness, all major qualities of a leader. And just look at the examples of liberal arts graduates. John F. Kennedy, John Glenn, Al Newhart, Tom Brokaw, Martha Stewart, Harrison Ford, the list goes on. Each of these people were very influential in their career fields, and as a result, each of them changed the society that we know today. Each of them because they had the advantage of liberal arts education. I know for all of us who are freshmen this year, the transition into college was a major time, but of course in 3 years we'll be transitioning to job applications and finally walking across that stage for graduation. Scary thought, huh? Well, the fact that we all received a liberal arts education from the University of South Dakota should be comforting. Look at the success that these other graduates have had. Liberal arts education brings success because liberal arts education brings perception, it brings preparation, and it brings pride.